Good morning. Today is, I think, the 9th. It is a Saturday. It's hovering around 40 degrees. I drove in with some light snow going on. Our plan for today, we are local vigilance again. I think I explained the COVID situation in Vermont. And they're asking people to stay out until the surge of COVID-19 happens. So our plan today, last week we potentially heard some wood knocking in the direction we're heading, so we're going to follow up on that and then possibly bushwhack into a second area when we're done with that and see what we find, see if there's repetition. It's going to be a little more challenging today because the wind is going to the wind level's higher today, so it's going to create a little more background noise. But we're going to try our luck anyway, and with any luck that will work out. And we'll have something to experience because it's been quiet for several weeks in here, and it'd be nice to have some activity. But we're going to get moving, and that's what we're doing today. Thing that we found, I don't remember if this was here last week, but it looks like deadfall, but it also looks like it's in basically a circle, like it was a line. So open to interpretation, maybe hunters, although I don't really see any hunter's tape or anything immediately in the vicinity, so I don't know, just kind of an odd, I mean, it doesn't look like this. I don't think this is natural. I think this was kind of placed in a little ring for whatever reason. But there's no outward sign of human presence that was here since last week, and I don't remember seeing this last week. And I would have at the worst been over in the distance over that one little bump over there, that bump. So, sort of an interesting find, I guess. We're going to check out the wetland while we're here. But with wood knocks being in the area, who knows? Maybe, I don't know why they'd build a ring of trees with no real benefit to it. It's not quite as chilly down here because you're down out of the breeze a little bit, but we're back in this area, right on the edge of the scrub. And we're going to kind of do the same pattern. We're going to go in far enough, maybe not as far as last week, but we're going to go in far enough to see if we get knocking again, which was on we got to the end of the second pond. And I guess maybe I'll call this the dual pond area. But there was some knocks coming from the distance due east of that area, so I'm going to head in the same distance, head more or less in that same distance in an effort to reproduce the effects, and then should they occur, more signs of digging, and see if I can determine the source if I do. That is our immediate plan. It's weird because from here it doesn't look like much, but if you walk over here and look at it, the way the stuff is placed, it is kind of a deliberate kind of a thing. And trying to figure where the base of that tree I guess it would have come down from there. So I was going to say I don't know where it came from, but it came from there. Kind of fell over, but how would it have wedged? My trouble with this, just to make a point, the tree over here is where it would have fallen off. But it got wedged in between these two down here, and the angle doesn't allow for that. It would have had to come down in the arch up here. And hold on. God forbid I ever get the damn thing. The arch up there and then gotten shoved down here, but that's kind of a long shot to me. I don't know. Interesting find. I will be keeping an eye on that now. Again, no sign of hunter's tape. It could be hunters. I don't really see the advantage of just making a little ring of trees like that. It could have just fallen that way too, but kind of unique if it did. Or maybe I'm overanalyzing it, who knows. But we're going to keep going this way and kind of repeat the route we were in last week. And as we get deeper in, we're going to use our ears a little more to get over there. But I'm wondering if I have to put my camera away for a minute, or I can just cross this dumb thing. I may have just heard a knock, only Murphy's Law being what it was, it came from the northwest. I'm going to see if they repeat from here a little ways. If I may change direction though if that continues. We're at the point where I crossed last week, basically right here, and hopped this little stream. And we're still paralleling the pond on its eastern side. Getting to the more piney section of the neighborhood soon. I'm just noticing some interesting little stick-like things, and not structures so much, but things where it's almost like somebody tried to get off. It looked like somebody had started to try to get a Tinder bundle going, like you see on the bushcrafting kind of videos, but most of it was pretty wet, so I don't think that's per se what it was. But you're going the wrong way. I think. I'm trying to get into the piney section, which is over here. And not that would have taken me way out of my area, but more signs of digging. This wasn't here last week. You can probably hear the wind too. This stuff. There was a fair amount of that last week. And I think this is new though. There's a lot of it too in here. But could be something as simple as deer. But there's more. Fair amount of it actually. All through here, so. My theory might be that it was deer eating some of the ferns. I don't know if deer eat ferns though. Have to admit to some ignorance there. But as you can see, we're kind of like right parallel with the pond. And just trying to get around this down tree, but I think we can cut through these two. Do that. Get further into this. Oh, once we get a little further in, like you saw last week, more deer pellets. It opens up a little more, like right over this hill. But the reason I suspect the deer is because deer pellets are really all I'm seeing for sign as far as anything digging. Could be a bear too, but I just don't see any bear sign per se. Whereas I'm seeing deer poo. And with as much digging as I'm seeing, I almost see a deer print there too in the digging, so that likely confirms it. And with the amount of digging, like I was going to say, if you had a herd of them doing this, or at least a family unit, you would explain the amount that I'm seeing. So, as we make our way through the forest here, provide some view again. This may be the spot, it might be further up. Last week I provided a audio and video recording of a bunch of peepers doing frog love. And this might be the spot where that little waterway down there, if you can see that. But so today, op-ed stuff while we're making our way to our destination. We could do some COVID commentary, which is not Bigfoot related, I understand, but I have observed, at least in my own neighborhood, people, families in particular, going out for an afternoon walk, and what they're not doing is socially distancing well. They are traveling in a large cluster, and if they're all in the same household, that's a moot point, but they're blocking the entire trail for other people, not allowing them to maintain 6 feet distance all the time. And they need to understand and train their youngsters that 6 feet is the rule. It is not an option, it is not a guideline. You need to do it. And if that means to be more of a disciplinarian than some parents are, then that's my opinion. And I don't know if this is a thing in other people's neighborhoods, but I noticed this around the Nutmeg State. It's a great thing that you're using gloves when you're out to protect your hands and germs and all that. But why is it so hard for people to throw the damn things away properly? Because everywhere I go, especially like in supermarket parking lots, they're all over the place, and sometimes they're like 5 feet from a garbage can. Is it really that hard to do that? And to counteract my little rant, some nice scenery of the pond. And we might not be totally to where the Beaver Lodge is. No, it's right there. This thing does have a view. Zoom, hold on. See if I can get the... I think it's right there, and there's the Beaver Lodge. Zoom is a little, I don't know, the camera seems a little slow today, possibly because of the weather. It was warmer last week, but it still works. I have had some screwy behavior with it in the cold before, although I don't really consider this cold. No need for gloves. You're fine with a fleece or a sweatshirt or something. Typical, I guess, like mid-October hiking weather, temperature-wise. It's not particularly muggy yet. It's actually kind of nice out, although no knocks yet, God forbid. Well, one from the other direction, potentially. But another shot of the Beaver Lodge. Right there. We are going to go up the hill to go, actually we don't have to, do we? We'll take the low road and kind of go around all these nice, lovely boulders. Yeah, we can do this. I'm going to cut through this little bit of laurel, and we're good. Get another shot of the Beaver Lodge. And we're going to go under this weirdly crossed tree. And we're more or less heading, we're going to go up here now. This kind of seems like it opens up a little more. And there's the Beaver Lodge. Zoom is a little... I don't know, the camera seems a little slow today, possibly because of the weather. It was warmer last week, but it still works. Sorry, I just heard something. I have had some screwy behavior with it in the cold before, although I don't really consider this cold. No need for gloves. You're fine with a fleece or a sweatshirt or something. There are things you'll hear in the distance you got to make.
I guess like mid-October
hiking
with
weather.
the wind, temperature-wise, it's not particularly
You're going
muggy
to
yet.
hear
Creaking
kinda
trees
nice
like
out.
that just was.
although no knocks yet.
Well, one from the other direction, potentially.
But yeah, so the whole COVID social distancing thing, at least in this part of the country, not to jinx it, but it seems like numbers are kind of flattening out a little bit. We are going to go up the hill due to the efforts made, so it's all the more important.
We'll take the low
road. And the more you can, the better it is.
Lovely boulders.
Gloves and masks and all that. Make your own if you have to. There are multiple how-tos online.
Cut through this
Since everybody's stuck indoors and there's plenty of free time to do things of that nature. Go for it. So,
get another shot of the
pretty sure we covered this last time in
the big X
crossed a tree
over there.
and
Two trees that felt like that.
We're going to go up there still. This kind of seems like it opens up a little more. Or not. What we're going to do now, kind of cut across
And you can have a lovely
a sort of kind of visible trail, and which I've taken. It does take you through some nice
Sorry,
woods.
I heard something.
But I am going to. Actually, I think it forks back there too. What's it do? It takes you to. I might actually follow that in a bit. There are things you'll hear in the distance. You gotta make.
Or the knocks. That's
Note
probably
the
a
fact
fast
with
way
the
to get
wind.
back in there.
You're going to hear.
Also doesn't rule out human
creaking trees.
source
like
for
that,
the
like that
knock-esque
noises. It's probably premature to call them knocks, but be cool if they were. But
Okay, we're back. We're at the place
yeah,
where
so
we did
the
some
whole
droning
COVID social distancing thing.
last week. This is
At
the
least in this
second
part of the
pond.
country.
So far, all is quiet,
Um,
knock-wise anyway. So what
Not
we're going to
jinx it,
do
but it seems like numbers are kind of
is we are
flattening
going to
out
make
a
our
little
way
bit
back. We are going to intersect
due
with that
to the
trail,
efforts
go up the
made.
hill
So
a
it's
ways,
all
see
the
if we
more
elicit a
important to do
response
them.
there. And if not, then we're going to make our way back.
The more
out,
you
and
can,
we're going
the
to head
better
in
it
the
is.
direction where we might have heard a knock as we were coming in.
And gloves and masks.
There's
and
no
all
reason
that.
to suggest that
Make your
anything in
own
the
if you
neighborhood is
have to.
going to remain stationary. And
There are multiple.
sometimes they do,
how-tos
because
on
the area
online.
that is directly to the east in this direction.
Since everybody's
here,
stuck indoors and there's
you
plenty
can
of
see through the crack
free
in the,
time to
the
do
wall.
things of that nature.
Is a fairly large chunk of forest too that goes for.
Go for it.
So we're going to proceed
So,
in that direction when we get to the trail.
pretty sure we
basically
covered
just for the
this
sake of covering better ground
Last time
and
in,
making the
big
best
X.
use of the day. And if that doesn't
Over
work out,
there.
we're going to head back up
Two trees that
in
felt like
that
that,
direction
but, still.
and pursue that knock and see if we can elicit a response from that direction. So that is basically what will amount to Plan B. And we're going to get moving at
What
this
we're
point.
going to do now,
This is a very lovely spot to drone from, but if you notice, let's
kind of cut
see if the wind
across
conveys the trees rather convey the wind
a
level. It's rather
sort of
gusty
kind of
today,
visible
so
trail. It was much more
which I've
ideal to
taken
drone
from last
some nice
weekend,
wood.
and we're going to leave that there.
But I am going to.
We are again going to take a break.
Actually, I think it
there's a
forks
good spot
back there
to
too,
do a
what to do.
quick commentary, but we're going to get moving in
It
that
takes
direction.
you
and
to.
we'll
I
probably
might
pick this
actually
back
follow
up
that in
when
a
we're on
bit.
the trail.
If we do hear the
So,
tracks
we'll be
or
back in a
the
few
knocks, that's probably a fast way.
Okay,
to
we're
get
back.
in there. We're on the trail, such as it is.
Also doesn't rule out
We'll
human
follow it up a little ways.
source for the knock-esque
Like I said,
noises.
back of the pond. And
It's probably premature to call them
we're
knocks,
going in the
but,
general direction that the be cool if they were. Knocks had been before. If we don't get anything in a few
Okay,
minutes.
we're back. We're at the
We'll go
place
pursue
where
the
we
other one.
did some droning last week. This is the second pond. So far, all is quiet, knock-wise anyway. So what we're going to do
because the trail's not so quite.
is we are going to make our way back. We are going
We'll,
to intersect with that trail, go up the hill a ways, see if we elicit a response there.
Kind of limit our forward.
And if not, then we're going to make our way back out, and we're going to head in the direction where we might have heard a knock as we were coming in. There's
one
no
reason
reason to
why
suggest that anything in the neighborhood's
I
going to
like
remain
the side trails
stationary.
more though, because one, more solitude.
Sometimes they do, because the area that is directly to the east in
Two
this
more other
direction
kinds of
over
things
here, if you can kind of see through
seem
the
to
crack in
happen.
the world, is a fairly large chunk of forest too that goes for a ways. So we're going to proceed in that direction when we get to the trail, basically just for the sake of covering better ground, and making the best use of the day. And if that doesn't work out, we're going to head back up in that direction.
We just don't seem to be getting a lot of
and
play up
pursue
here
that
today.
knock and see if we can elicit a response from that direction.
So,
So that is basically what will amount to Plan B.
and the trail kind of
And we're
gets...
going to get moving at this point. So this is a very lovely spot to drone from, but if you notice, let's
That's the other reason
see
too.
if the
it
wind
kinda-
conveys the trees rather convey the
It
wind
is a
level.
trail,
It's
but with all
rather
the down
gusty
stuff.
today, so it was much more ideal to drone last weekend, and we're going to leave
No
that
knocks
there.
and
We are again
Less than
going to
perfect
take a break.
definition.
There was a good spot to do a quick commentary, but we're going to get moving in that direction, and we'll probably pick this back up when we're on the trail. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
okay, we're back. We're on the trail, such as it is. We'll follow it
Again,
up a
like I
little
said
ways.
when I came in, like I said,
The wind
back at the pond, and
is a factor of competing.
we're going in the
background
general
noise.
direction that the
So
knocks had been before. If we don't get
last
anything
week
in a
was
few
probably
minutes,
more ideal for this.
we'll go pursue the other one. But all right, so because the trail's not
It's
so
kinda
quite
quiet,
so we're gonna
evenly marked.
rather than struggle to pick out the
Well,
trail through the woodwork here, we're gonna just go back into the woodwork and make our
We'll
way
limit our
back
foray up here, but
and pursue that other knock, since that seems to be more promising.
it's one reason why I like the side trails more though, because one, more solitude.
Provide wheel is a trail.
Shouldn't. Two, more other kinds of things seem to happen.
But
We just don't seem to be getting a lot of play up here today. So
I'm keeping the camera on, just kind of walking so I can listen. But
the trail kind of gets...
think
That's the other reason too. It is a trail, but with all the down
we're going to
stuff.
pursue the northwesterly direction. See what comes of that.
No knocks
Going
and
back down to the beaver pond over
less
here.
than perfect definition.
Distance. Then parallel our way back. Kind of do an up, out, and over.
And again, like I said when I came in, the wind
Some kind of rodent in the
is
distance.
a factor of competing background noise.
So size could have been anything
Last
from
week
a
was probably
possum
more
to a
ideal for
squirrel
this.
to a pine marten. Well, which up until very recently I didn't realize we had this far south. I thought they were further up in Vermont where I've seen them, but
All right,
apparently
so
we do. So we're back at the,
it's kind of
back at the
quiet,
Big X,
so we're gonna
rather than
and
struggle
we'll
to
cut
pick
back
out the
in
trail
here
through
and
the
make our way
woodwork here. We're
back
gonna just go back into the woodwork
around
and
the
make our way
pond
back
and back towards
and pursue that other knock.
the way we came
Since
in.
that seems to be more promising. And for those wondering, why don't you use a perfectly good trail? Because it doesn't go where we're going. And actually would take me a ways out of my way.
Provided we always a trail.
Shouldn't. I would rather kind of use the pond side area. Mainly, if no other reason, I just like being in the pine. I just like being in the tree line better. Not. Sorry, again, I thought I heard something. I'm keeping the camera on, just kind of walking so I can listen. But as I stated, I don't think We're going to pursue the northwesterly direction. See what comes of that. We're going to make our way back down to the beaver pond over here. You see it in the distance. Then parallel our way back. Kind of do an up, out, and over. There's that little animal. So we're passing the beaver lodge again. Some kind of rodent in the distance. Size could have been anything from a possum to a squirrel to a pine marten. Which up until very recently I didn't realize we had this far south. I thought they were further up in Vermont. Under the tree, I think we had this coming. Apparently we do. So we're back at the Big X, and we're going to cut back in here and make our way back home in time around the pond and back towards the way we came in. Sorry. And for those wondering, why don't you use a perfectly good trail? Because it doesn't go where we're going. And actually would take me a ways out of my way. I would rather kind of use the pond side area. And again, to save on battery. How are we doing on battery anyway? Mainly, if no other reason, I just like being in the pond. I'm going to take a short break so I can cover ground. And we'll come back in a bit. We're in a completely different section of woods that we were in a couple weeks ago. Sorry, again, I thought I heard something. And right over there, a vocal of some kind. Let's go look. Passing the beaver lodge again. There's somebody or something over there. Up under the tree. I think we had this coming in on video. And back home in time for dinner and all that. Sorry. And again, to save on battery. How are we doing on battery anyway? I'm going to take a short break. Have to keep an eye on those trees too. And we'll come back in a bit. Well, we're going to have a look around while we're here. Keep our ears open. say though, with the temperature of the wind is actually rather refreshing right now. You keep tripping over these little chiplings. It's good on that far. Alright, I figure right about now we're right about where the state line is. I'm going to take a break and start working my way back. If I hear the vocals or whatever those were again, I will start filming again, but right now I'm going to have to probably focus on walking over all this lovely debris. And this is about where we are for a final view in and out. Some of it's been logged. We're kind of at the edge of that line right now. We start working our way back. Maybe tomorrow we'll come back, we'll work our way up into that, see what's going on up in there. And so we'll work our way back and we'll see if that's it or if we find anything else interesting. All right.